Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Astrology Today and Tarot. My name is Mel Rose. This is the Tarot portion in the second half of my daily astrology vlog, which you can check out on my other channel, Astrology Today with Mel Rose. Over there, you'll find a description of the day's astrology as I have spelled it out here. Here, I'll discuss the tarot card that sits on the side of the page, and then I'll play another card that, in the context of the day's astrology, may give us something more to think about. So let's get into it. The card that currently sits on the side of the page is the Eight of Wands, friends. And the Eight of Wands is here for a reason. It's here because it correlates in astrology with the first 10 days or that first decan of the sun's transit here in the land of Sagittarius. Sagittarius is a fire sign, and wands in tarot represent fire element symbolism, and fire element symbolism is all about that sense of initiative, spark, drive, momentum, that excitability, even a restlessness or an impatience that can come up that moves us into action, the actions that we take and sort of the things that we have achieved as a result of the actions we've taken, as a result of the impassioned drive we have shown a certain task. Okay, so here we have the Eight of Wands. And the Eight of Wands is really kind of a full steam ahead card. It just says, you know, you have all of this drive and dedication, you have all of this experience now under your belt, and you can just go ahead and do whatever it is that you're trying to achieve with relative ease. It's a clear day, there's, you know, a nice rolling landscape that isn't too tough. Wherever you are on your journey, and I mean that literally or metaphorically, now is a good time to just be moving forward, taking advantage of the momentum that is on offer to you at this time of year with the sun in Sagittarius, and you know, making what do we call that? Making good time. Right. Okay. And with that said, I'm going to go ahead and turn this card. Oh yes, we have the Emperor. So you know, the Emperor is a major arcana card. It's kind of a major message card, and there's an Emperor and an Empress in the tarot deck, as well as, you know, kings and queens and knights and pages of all four suits. So there's royalty in the suits, but the Emperor is not of one suit. The Emperor is the king of the kings, right? The Emperor is the ruler of all they survey. And they didn't get there by sitting around on a soft, cushiony chair. You know, they have a kind of hard perspective. The Emperor is often characterized with ram's horns, like an Aries. Okay, it's a very assertive kind of feeling. This is a person or a person who likes to show their power, or, you know, a feeling like we want to be in charge and show our power. Okay, so. That's the Emperor. It's like mastery of growth, mastery of resources, mastery of attainment of goals. Okay, and in general, you know, this is also like a fatherhood vibe. This would be the masculine presenting figure in a sort of parental figure in a person's life, if it were in a reading. Or it can be sort of like a ruler or a boss or a president. You know, it doesn't have to be necessarily a gendered thing, but it just indicates a certain mastery of life's challenges in general, right? And a desire to keep moving and to keep growing and to keep expanding, and there's sort of a vibe here too with the ram's horns that says, you know, the Emperor doesn't back down. The Emperor just moves forward, right? So, you know, some of us may be some emperors in our lives, or maybe some of us are dealing with some emperors type people in our lives. And that they can be challenging people to be around. They're not always the most warm or friendly people, because they've, you know, been kind of stuck in work mode, and they tend to just be in charge. And, you know, this is the person who's capable of doing the difficult thing or making the difficult choice in the interest of everybody's support and well-being. And where do we see the Emperor on the page? Well, naturally, normally, I would say Mars is the Emperor, because Mars rules Aries. Aries is the ram. and the Emperor wears the ram's horns in so many different tarot decks. So, Mars is retrograde in Gemini right now. The Emperor is probably facing a little bit of frustration. Okay. The Emperor is also considered like sort of the rising sun of the empire, the power. This is the person with all the power, right? So the sun here is in Sagittarius and a very fiery sign as well. And the sun is also in a positive trine aspect with Chiron in Aries, where the Emperor probably lives, is in Aries. So these are lands that are ruled by the Emperor, by that fiery impulse, and especially Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. But there's this sense of expansion and growth, and a desire for bigger, better experiences that comes with it, that I would say sort of goes with the Emperor too. So Sun in Sagittarius is at a time when we are definitely out exploring, taking advantage of educational opportunities, seeking to expand our experience through travel, by doing business, by creating new things, by creating new approaches to doing things, even also sometimes by making some tough choices so that we can make the progress we're looking for, right? And in this trine, I think this is interesting, this trine aspect to Chiron and Aries, this is like, we're taking advantage of all this education and this sense of expansion and growth. And we're also in this really blessed, sort of easily functioning vibe where we may not even really think about it, but through this action, we're actually healing some of our old wounds. And Chiron and Aries is about healing old social wounds. It's particularly about times in our lives where we did not succeed, or where we were, plagued by teasing or embarrassment, or just a general sense of failure, especially in the social life. And a lot of us go through that. It's not anything to really think of yourself. One really should not think of themselves as a failure just because the rest of the world doesn't understand them when they're young. And everybody embarrasses themselves in different ways. But and sometimes those things stick with us. The way people have treated us when we were younger, the way we have gotten along with other people in social situations will stick with us for a long time. But we are in this opportunity that really lasts years. It's about 8 years, Chiron's transit in Aries, where we can start to let go of some of those things, some of those old social wounds, those moments of being embarrassed or confused or upset about things that are going on in our social lives. We can see at this time in our lives, and especially if you're like me, you're around the age of 50, it's likely that your Chiron is in Aries, so it's a return at this time. We're really reflecting on those old social wounds and what has healed from them, what no longer applies, what embarrassment no longer gets in the way, right? And since those things no longer apply to us, since we have healed from those things, either through effort or just through sort of natural personal growth and expansion, we can then begin to sort of let down some of our defenses, right? not try to be so tough in the social sphere because we're healed from those old wounds. So that's Sun trine to Chiron. This is like our outer life, our social self, in this really cooperative vibe with our ability to heal those social wounds. We're feeling more like we can be ourselves at this time, and feeling more like we can be ourselves at this time means that we do get an opportunity to expand, to grow, to search for more in our life, to provide more for ourselves and those around us. Taken together with the Eight of Wands, well, the Emperor and the Eight of Wands, that's to me like the Emperor is on a quest, or maybe not on a quest, more perhaps on a campaign of conquest. Okay, so some of us are on campaigns of conquest one way or the other. Perhaps we're trying to get a certain level of education, a certain degree. Maybe we're trying to, save up for an amazing experience, a vacation, or an educational trip. Sometimes maybe we're just trying to sort of grow our lives into something that's more comfortable for us and the people that we keep close. By doing business, by doing work. The Emperor is no no stranger to work. Just because they're in charge doesn't mean that they don't get their hands dirty, right? So, whatever it is that you're working on, whatever conquest it is that you're working on, the going should be very easy for you right now. You should be feeling very much in command of yourself. We will probably not be thinking too much, or reverting too much to those old defensive patterns that came up with those old woundings that we are now over. Okay, so we can let go of those defensive patterns. We can sort of get up off of our hard seat, our sense of discomfort, and just get moving on the project that we're working on, okay? Whatever it is that's going to expand you, grow you, help you grow your sense of what you can be, do, and have, you're in charge of that. You're in charge of your life. And even if it means making, like I said, some tough decisions, you can definitely move forward and move outward and become that bigger, better version of yourself. Become the person who's in charge of you, because you already are. All right, friends, I think that's all I have to say about it today. Thank you so much for joining me. I truly appreciate your presence here. My name is Mel Rose, and I'll see you all back here tomorrow for more Astrology Today and Tarot.